Rolling out of bed in the morning and going in public with a bonnet and pajamas on and house shoes is unacceptable.
First of all, what do you think about somebody putting on a post at their office and say, do not come in here if you're going to just put on your air bonnet, wear house shoes and pajamas. You are not allowed to enter here. What is your first impression? Do you think it makes sense? And this is just a dental hospital. This is a dental clinic or a dental office that said something like that. Like, do not come in to do your teeth wearing a bonnet, a pajamas, or an house slippers. Let me know what you think down in the comment section. And that is what today's video is all about. Hey beautiful people, hey gorgeous people, and welcome back again to another interesting video. All right, my name is Myra David and I'm back again with another video. So I'm going to roll the clip for you all that this Blàck creator, she made a video and she was trying to say one or two. Let me roll the clip for you all to watch, then we'll come back and talk about it.
So a Black-owned dental office had a sign posted that said no house shoes, no pajamas, no bonnets, right? And social media was so up in arms that they tried to destroy this woman's business by leaving her bad reviews, saying that the sign was anti-Black. I just want to know why everything negative and uncouth has to be labeled Black culture. I also want to know why advocating for us to go in public looking like we care about ourselves and how we look is deemed as respectability politics. We should not be condoning and advocating for clear signs of depression, because the only times I've ever been raggedy in public is when something was off with me mentally. Rolling out of bed in the morning and going in public with a bonnet and pajamas on and house shoes is unacceptable, uncouth behavior, no matter what race of people does it. And going out in public looking well put together like I care about myself doesn't mean that I'm trying to be like white people or I'm trying to get white people to respect me. Maybe it's because I respect me. Let's make having self-respect a part of Black culture.
So now we are on the same page. What do you all think down in the comment section? I'd love to hear from you for all. Do you think this is anti-Black or Black people are just like taking it too serious? And she said something that actually got a lot of people talking in the Black community. They were like, she was like, this is how you should supposed to be dressed as a Black person and all of that. Got people really talking. Interesting stitches I want to share with you all. And I would like to know what you all think down in the comment section while you watch the stitches. All right, so let me roll the clips for you all to watch.
Morning and going in public with a bonnet and pajamas on and house shoes is unacceptable, uncouth behavior.
Something that I just will never understand about this is, why do we care so much? Why do y'all care so much about what other people are doing? Like, cool, you don't want to leave the house with pajamas on, you don't want to leave the house with a bonnet on. Okay, cool. Why do y'all care that other people do that? Like, with this limited time that you have on earth, you're gonna spend it caring about what other people are wearing? If you have such a problem with it, why don't you go get someone's hair done for them? Why don't you go buy them some outfits to wear outside? If you're not gonna do that, then shut up and stop caring about what other people are doing. Y'all are too grown. Y'all are way too grown to worry about what other people are doing.
A Black-owned dental office had a sign posted that said no house shoes, no pajamas, no bonnets, right? And
So the wildest part about all of this and this whole thought that going to the doctor's office in a bonnet, house shoes, pajamas, whatever, says that you don't care about yourself, is that going to the doctor's office is a clear example that you do care about yourself, because there's no better way to care about yourself than to care about your health. And also, bonnets, pajamas, house shoes, etc., they're all inanimate objects, and therefore they don't speak. And since they cannot speak, they cannot tell you that the person who chooses to wear those items of clothing outside doesn't care about themselves, because, again, they cannot speak. So in actuality, it's you, the viewer, saying that said person doesn't care about themselves, which is wild, because usually when people make statements like that, they're talking about a stranger. So you don't actually know them or what's going on or what they had to do with their day. I think the reason why that dentist sign really struck a nerve with me is that at its core, healthcare is a human right. So by putting up barriers to said healthcare, they are taking away human rights from other people. And I know that sounds really dramatic, but at its core, that's what it is. And I think about my best friend, who is wonderful and brilliant and just fantastic. And she also is a dentist. And when she talks to me about work, and not in like a HIPAA related way, so don't come for me, don't come for her, it's fine. But when she talks to me about work, never once has she said, oh, someone showed up in a bonnet today, they clearly don't care about themselves. A, because she is a white woman and I would drag her if she said such a thing. And B, because she doesn't think that way. Because when someone comes to her to receive care, they are in turn caring about themselves. In fact, one of her main complaints is that she wishes that more people went to the dentist because people routinely ignore their dental appointments. And that shows that they either don't care about themselves or they don't have access to said healthcare. So instead of complaining about what people are wearing to the dentist, how about we as a community focus more on people, A, going to the dentist and the doctor in general, and B, are people having equal access to said healthcare? Because at its core, again, healthcare is a human right.
I also want to know why advocating for us to go in public looking like we care about ourselves and how we look is deemed as respectability politics.
This actually has a lot to do with respectability politics because the term was coined by a Black woman. Surprise! Evelyn Brooks Higginbotham, in her Righteousness Content, the women's movement in the Black Baptist Church from 1880-1920, talks about the use of the Black church, right, in like social, political reform, and specifically the Black woman's, the African-American woman's role. And in the process of Black women in the Black church trying to, pave the way and make their space known in these social political movements, right, and using the Black church to do so, they had to enact the politics of respectability. And the politics of respectability, or respectability politics, was seen as something important to enact because that was the way to get the social political reform. And it was supposed to challenge the individual, in this case, Black women in the Black church, to combat stereotypes that were already against us, to be seen and deemed as more respectable. And there were two audiences for this. We needed white people to deem us more respectable, and we also needed to do this within the Black community. So cleanliness of oneself, of one's property, having sexual purity, good temperance, being nice, polite, not too mean, feminine. All of those things that Black women needed to do in order for us and the Black community in its entirety to receive social, political reform and civil rights. So fast forward to now, it absolutely is tied to how we as Black women view ourselves and view other Black women, and how they dress, what they wear, what their hair looks like, how they're presenting themselves, how they're holding themselves. It has roots in respectability politics. People talking about you can't wear a bonnet out in public, you can't wear pajama pants in public, you can't wear this, look like that, has roots in respectability politics. And so does the Black church, but that's a whole other video. If you want to hold and carry yourself a certain way, that's your own prerogative, right? You can do that. But the issue lies when you try to, one, police other Black people and Black women specifically and how they do it, and two, you align certain actions, certain looks, certain appearances, certain behaviors with value, right? Value in a person's personhood, value in them having rights or receiving services. That is when it's respectability politics. Hope that helps.
So a Black-owned dental office had a sign posted that said, no house shoes, no pajamas, no bonnets, right?
And let's first start off by acknowledging that while this Black dentist created a sign and a rule that said no bonnets, no pajamas, no slippers can be worn in her office, no white dentist would do the same. No white dentist would say no pajamas worn in my office. And let's not act like white kids don't wear pajamas. As a matter of fact, when I was raising my sons and they went to a predominantly white school, we actually got into an argument because they wanted to wear pajamas to school the way many of their friends did, particularly during exam time. The pajamas, the messy buns, hair all over their head, unkept, looking as if they had not bathed in days, with slippers, particularly the big slippers and characters, was a thing. And nobody called those kids depressed. No one judged them. There were no businesses making rules saying that they would not receive service if they had that on. And do you want to know why? Because of white supremacy. Because white supremacy allows white people to be seen as individuals. So if someone has 1,000 piercings and tattoos, or wears pajamas, or has their hair purple, it's just that person doing that. And Black people are seen as a group, which stresses us other Black people out because we don't want to be seen as ignorant. And so what happens is we police ourselves the way other people don't do, the way white people have the luxury not to do. And we don't have to do it. And we wouldn't do it if we recognized that it's a strategy that has been used since the beginning to create separation between us. There was a strategy to the lynch rules to ensure that there was light skin versus dark skin, that there was the inside inward and the outside inward. So they create these fractions within the Black community where some of us gain a certain level of education or a certain level of wealth, and we become something higher than Black. Maybe we're African American, and we look down on the other Blacks and say, why can't you get yourself together? Tisk, tisk, you should know better. And we beat each other up, tear each other's self-esteem down, block us from getting our teeth cleaned and our feelings done in an air of superiority because we think we're doing it for the race. But guess what? This race is already chastised and judged and beaten down. So why would we want to continue that trend unless, perhaps, we've been so affected by being raised in a white supremacist system that has affected us? Because it has. It's affected you. And that's okay because it's affected all of us. And the first step is to realize that we're all affected. What's really interesting as you talked is that you have these beautiful braids in your hair. And I hope you get the irony of that, because there are a lot of people today that would think that your braids are unprofessional and uncouth and make you look undone. Now, I greatly disagree, but a lot of people would, and they would look down on you. They would say, now where that girl think she's gonna get a job looking like that? I hope she don't think some man want her looking like she was working in the fields today. Now, we know that's ignorant, and it's sad that we would judge each other like that, but we've been trained to do it. And so you see what happens there? You see how maybe you should understand that we are not monolithic as a people, and we do things differently. We have different perspective, what's cool, what's not, what looks good, what doesn't. I wouldn't personally wear a bonnet outside of the home. But you know what? I'm 52 years old. I come from a different era. Maybe that's what's hot now. Maybe it doesn't mean that they are depressed. Maybe they are rebelling against the system. Maybe they think it's fly. Whatever it is, I'm not going to ban them in a world that already bans them from so much without even saying it. I refuse to act on behalf of white supremacy. What does this sort of treatment do to further Black people? How does that woman's sign help anybody but white supremacy? So sometimes we need to take a pause and think about why we are doing what we are doing and who and what it serves. Just my thoughts.
So first of all, I feel like when it comes to people, I feel like people should just start minding their business when it comes to dressing. And when I'm having toothache, I don't think what I'm wearing to your clinic should be an important issue this time around. And I feel like when you say that people that wear either you're white or black, that doesn't mean anything. So I just feel like people should always mind their business, and if you don't want people that wear airbonnets to you, that is fine. But I see no reason why you put that on your information and say that, oh, I'm coming to check my teeth, and the next thing I'm going to be bothered about is if I'm well dressed to your dentist. So how would I even say? I'd like to know what you all think down in the comment section, and thank you all so much for tuning into this point. I hope you enjoyed this one. Of course, I'm going to see you all in my next video. Bye.